Hey YouTube, this is Alice at Wonderland Speaks. As I always forget, I hope you'll like and subscribe to my channel. Um, this is a video in response to when I made the video. I said that depending on the response I got would determine if I would put out more videos on that topic. And it appears to be the topic that's trending, as one would say. I'll say when I started all this, I didn't know what the hell trending was. I mean, I know what trending means. I didn't understand it in this context. But the moral of the story is, please like and subscribe to my channel. What I'm going to be talking about today is, and click the notification button, is, as I mentioned, in response to a video where I talk about interracial dating. I was surprised at the responses I got, some of them, but some of them I weren't. Oddly enough, I didn't get as much negativity as I thought, uh, knowing how sensitive some people can be about this subject, meaning black women with white men. I don't know if you know this, but black women and white men are the last. Technically, they're the first and the last. Some would say the beginning and the end, depending on how you choose to look at this dynamic. Uh, I say the beginning because when you go back to the beginning, uh, I'm not going to go there. I'm just going to stick with where we are. Sometimes I can go off into so many different directions, and I can't imagine what people may think of my nonsense. But um, I had one of the responses that, well, not one, but many of the responses I got from the women were that they wanted more. They wanted more detail. And I reflected back on when all this started for me many, many, many years ago, and nobody wanted to hear about it. They didn't want to talk about it. So my private life, in that respect, was I didn't talk about it. Not because I couldn't talk about it. I wasn't ashamed of anything I was doing. I just knew that it made other people uncomfortable. Just like a lot of things that I do now. It makes people uncomfortable. So I don't talk about it in quote unquote mixed company. I share it in an atmosphere where I know people are okay with it. In other words, people like myself. Um, Otherwise, I don't talk about it. Uh, but now I live my life where my life is out on display, and I have photos all through my house showing my ex-husbands and men that I've dated, and I guess one would say it's sort of like a United Nations, so to speak. Depending on who you are and how you perceive things. As I've mentioned before, uh, I've dated other men, married other men from other cultures. So, it is what it is. Would I trade any of that? Absolutely not. So, getting back to what women want me to talk about, which is, where do they go? Where are they supposed to go to meet? And they really want to know the signs of um, how do they know when a white man is interested in them? How would they pick up on the signs? Um, I guess I would say in the beginning, when it all started for me, um, first, I think it's important to put yourself in an environment where you're more likely to be hit on, so to speak. Um, at the time when I started, all my friends were white. Um, my neighbors were white women. We were all the same age. 90% of my going out was with white girls. So they basically uh, went to white clubs, or we went to what would be considered a mixed crowd. But it's important to note that you want to put yourself in a place where people go. So if your goal is to sincerely meet eligible white men, you want to go where they're at. And you say, well, where are they at? They love sporting events, basically bars, um, not any kind of bar. There's a certain caliber of men depending on the bar. Some things are very basic. If you want a blue collar kind of guy, then you go to the corner bars where sort of uh, uh, sporting slash, and again, this was years ago, so that's where one would say I I started. Uh, they like to go to different types of bars. So that was good for me because I was totally out of my element. I didn't know anything about that. I didn't know how to pick up on signs of when. Back then, uh, white guys were really afraid. And from what I've noticed, that hasn't changed. They're still really uncomfortable. I had some on this particular video respond to uh, there's a lot of us out there. It's like he was waving a flag. He wanted me to know that they were there and, you know, we want you. Well, I learned a long time ago, white men love black women. Okay, so um, you just have to put yourself in a place where they go. As I said, those types of bars, because there's all types of bars. Uh, there's the local bars, neighborhood bars. That's going to be your blue collar, everyday kind of guy, just got off from work kind of guy that go to that bar maybe a couple times a week. It's the local hangout. Those types of bars. Then you have the other types of bars like supper clubs, uh, uh, bars that have the dim lighting, nice music, maybe a jazz club, uh, sort of some might describe sort of a cigar type bar. Uh, Now I notice you have more of a mixed crowd, not too diverse. When I say mix, I mean the kind of white man that some people are comfortable in their element. The everyday guy is going to be in the local bar. The guys who work 9 to 5 in corporate America, they're going to be in the more what they consider socially acceptable. That is uh, supper club type places where you would go from like 5 to 9. Not saying they'd never be there after that time, but remember, these are working men who work from 9 to 5. So they're going in there uh, 5 to 9 p.m. That's during the week. Um, And like I said, supper clubs, places that have nice music. They can go in there by themselves or with a date, and the music is not too loud, and they can have a great time. Now, you have more combination sporting, like they've combined most things, so they have more of a diverse group of people. So actually, that could be a good thing because you're going to get a mixed bag. Uh, but there's a certain way in which a woman acts when she is available. First of all, she's not wearing a ring, but that's not always a tell, because a lot of people take their rings off when they either leave home or before they walk into a place like that. So that's going to be on you how you figure out. My experience with white guys who are married, a lot of them never take off their ring, even if they're flirting. They don't take it off. And if you ask them, and you should ask them if they're married, most of them will tell you. They're not ashamed that they're married. They'll tell you, and then you make a decision based on that. Um, let's see. Uh, Sporting events, uh, events, activities where you have seen on TV where there are large crowds of white people outgoing places. Uh, Personally, I've met white men everywhere. Any place you can meet one. I remember one year being on a trip. My cousin and I had went to the Caribbean. And I'm sure those of you who know anything about the Caribbean, it is predominantly black. My cousin said to me at this point, she said, I guess as if a white man could be found, you'd find him. I didn't seek this man out. I didn't think I did, but I would imagine by this time it's kind of apparent to those who are looking for the signs that I'm pretty versatile. So, as it would happen in the Caribbean, I did meet a white guy. We were in this club. It was a small, like, neighborhood Jamaican bar, and he was sitting at the bar, attractive. We had a great time. I don't know where he was from. He was from a different country, but he was still white. We took a photo together. But the point is, the moral of the story is, you want to go where they're at, because I'm sure you've noticed you're less likely to see them in places that you frequent, especially if it is a predominantly black environment. You have to put yourself in those places. So I don't think you could say, well, what about concerts? And that's a pretty big place if you're really trying to meet somebody and, get your feet wet in that environment. And I'm not talking about a one-night stand. Remember, I went through a lot of them before I got to a quality one, okay? Yeah, there's a lot of them out there who are just fascinated and they're curious, okay? Yes, absolutely, absolutely. But even if you run across one who is curious, in my experience, you're still gonna come out a whole lot better with that than reaching out in other environments. I'm trying to be nice about it. I'm going to make a video about that one day. And I don't want to come off as a bitter black woman, because I'm not. I'm absolutely not. I have reconciled myself to society and our culture and where we fit in all of this. And you have to decide where you fit in all of this and what it is you want for your quality of life. And I'm telling you where you got to go, okay? I'm at a point in my life, I can meet a white man anywhere I go that will know real quick that I'm interested in white men, okay? Is it an announcement that I make? Nope. Nope. I don't make an announcement. That'll be another video of me showing you how I pick up white men. I don't do much of that anymore. Matter of fact, I don't do it at all. But it doesn't stop them from approaching me. Okay, they still approach me no matter where or what. I'll give you an example. Recently, I had my carpet shampooed, and there were two of them that came here to shampoo the carpet. Now, normally I would leave home. I wouldn't have even been home, but I don't remember why I didn't leave. It may have been in the thick of all this, because this was a few months ago. So it's, you know, when you get carpet shampooed, you have to be stationary. So I figured the best place for me, since everything else was crazy, you know, with furniture up against walls and, you know, all that stuff that happens, because you want to get the carpet cleaned. So I was in my bedroom. So they came in, and I'm in my bedroom. Uh, I come out here, open up the door, and I go back into my bedroom. And the one guy comes in, and he starts talking to me, and we start talking. He's chatting me up. And before I know it, he's giving me his card. And I know what time it is, okay? There's a lot of white men who have cards uh, because most of them, even if they're not at that moment, they've had a business, or they're starting a business, or they're in business, or there's something where they printed up some cards. Now, you might say, well, a lot of people have business cards. You're absolutely right. I got a whole lot of them, different kinds from different businesses that I've started. I think it's really important to be as well-rounded. Can't be narrow-minded, because they're going to sense that. They're already nervous. And you don't want people to be nervous. So there's certain things you have to get past. I wasn't like this when I started. I was nervous. I think what helped me a lot was, like I said, my white friends, my neighbors. They were white, and we went to white bars. The first bar that I went to, white bar, that I went to was a country and western bar. I didn't know much about country music at the time, but this was their hangout. So we went every week, and I gained a knowledge for country music. I love it now, but at the time, and this can't be something you do as a means to an end. You have to sincerely have an interest in things. Okay, so I want to again, that'll be another video. Anything that I speak about, these are things I have interest in. Okay, it's not because these are white men and they exposed me to that. I haven't met one white man that exposed me to anything that I wasn't already into already. Not one. But see, that's why it works, because we have similarities. Now, did we do anything that I had never done? Oh, I had never been to a live baseball game. No, no, not an actual big arena. No, they love stuff like that. No, I had never went on my own. I went on a date. So it's those types of things, and having a vague understanding of sports. Um, I I like basketball. I'm not a real big football, but I like basketball and boxing. Those are my two areas that I stay up on, and I know what's up. Okay. Now all those others, no. But you don't have to know a lot. You do have to know something about things. Okay. Now, unless you want to go in a corner bar, neighborhood bar, and meet some heavy drinker who doesn't appear to be too drunk, and because you don't know anything about it, you think, well, you know, this is it. No, it's not. It's not at all. So you don't have to make the mistakes I made. You can learn from my mistakes, because I went through a few before I met some decent ones, because I didn't know any better. Keep in mind, this has been over 30 years, okay? So I did all this experimentation than uh, 20, 30 years ago. I've been doing this a long time. I started when I was young. I get women now who are much older, in their 50s, and they're deciding to turn that page now. And you can turn the page at any time. You know, there, any time is the right time to try something different. But if I don't impress anything else, I want to impress the importance of being genuine to yourself. It was very hard for me because I never thought about it. I never thought about white men like that. Not really. I didn't. I just didn't. And that's why, as I've said before in other videos, I was in my 30s. So it's not like, coming out of high school and then in my 20s. No. I thought I was going to marry me a black man and we were going to be happy ever after. But that's not what happened. No, not at all. Not at all. A lot of bad luck. Um, and a lot of bad choices. And then one day, I turned the corner. I started meeting a different kind of man. He just happened to be white. Okay? He happened to be white. Now, I know there's going to be some black men who are going to, and I said when I started doing these videos that I was not going to apologize to black men for this. You know what? You can turn on a TV every day of the week and you will see black men with white women. They're not apologizing. So don't guilt trip yourself, okay? Do not guilt trip yourself, implying that you've done your race some disservice. You know the disservice you do to your race? When you're not happy. That's the disservice you do. You don't owe anybody anything. You owe yourself. It's about you being happy, finding someone that makes you happy. If you haven't had any luck in that arena, you got to broaden your horizons. And that's what it came to for me. I wasn't having any luck, okay, with doing what was considered the right thing. I had to expand in order to make sense of it because I knew there had to be some decent men out there for me, okay? They all couldn't be bad. I know a lot of people say, oh, I can't date a white man because I need to date a black man because he understands my struggle. And what the hell is that? So we can all be struggling together? No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't. To me, that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. I mean, I don't have to tell you the high percentages of divorce, period. Okay? So this is not about culture and the black race. This is about you and that man, if he happens to be white or Spanish or Asian or whatever he is. It's about the two of you making a world where the two of you can live and be happy, wherever that is. And as long as that man loves you, girl, don't give it another thought about what somebody else is thinking about what you're doing. Stop being concerned about other people and what they thought, hell, decades ago, okay? Because if I didn't, I wouldn't have been able to live my life, okay? I wouldn't have, because I'd be worried about what do they think. I don't give a damn about what they think, okay? I have to live my life. So, I think that's a good place to end this. Hope I'll get some positive responses, and I hope that I have given you a little more to chew on. And let me know. Leave your comments down there. And ladies, those of you who are straddling the fence, let me know what attempts you've tried, and uh, questions you may have had about a particular guy uh, who happened to be of a different culture, who maybe you thought, but he really didn't say anything, and you're wondering if you missed the signal. Comment down there in the comment section. Let me know where you're at in this process, and I will answer all your questions, and I'll help where I can, uh, so that we can get past this, and you can carve yourself out a little happiness. Okay? So again, this is Alice at Wonderland Speaks. And as I stated before, depending on the response I get to this will determine when I put out another one. And I was surprised at the response. I am very surprised at the response. So again, I want to thank everyone who checked it out, and who had comments and sincerely really want to know, how to make this happen. And I want you to know that I'm here for you. I will do what I can. And please like and subscribe. And again, this is Alice at Wonderland Speaks. I want everybody to be blessed and be happy.